Well, welcome everybody. It locked my orientation the wrong way, and that was something I learned in the past, that when you do this orientation, their algorithms, which are a truth and reality, unfortunately, because they're false narratives of doing things, that widescreen gets you more views for people. And I told this thing specifically I wanted widescreen, and instead it's making me do it the other way. Instead it was locked this way, which lie. I wonder. Darn it. So this is ridiculous. Another problem with these platforms. They're very poorly run. The algorithms are now run by people that don't have America's best interest in heart. And this is what you get. See, I got one person here. It's so funny. It says the orientation is locked. That's so ridiculous. Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Right. To make sure that I can't do it the way I wanted to do it, that I was told gets way more views through the algorithm. So we're going to just do it like this because God is with me. The white light is with me. And God isn't just an imaginary dude in the sky. That's a whole nother topic of discussion. We got two people now. Talk to me, guys. Let's see if this works, please. It's so hard because even when I started doing this YouTube thing, people told me to narrow down my topics and all that kind of stuff. I choose to do literally everything interesting. You know, I'll do boring stuff too, because boring stuff often is very important as well. But you know what I mean. Like I do animals, I do medical, I do education, I do just plain funny, although it does usually have messages mixed within it to help and inspire people as well. But I know things that many people don't know, and not bragging, just saying from all of my years as a nurse and then a nurse practitioner for many years, that many people don't know. I've blown the whistle many times, which is supposed to be a protected right as an American citizen to blow the whistle on atrocities you see happening and occurring on a daily basis in healthcare settings or otherwise. It's also called being a mandated reporter, but everybody's kind of a mandated reporter, really. Talk to me, guys. I don't even know if this thing's working, please. Oh, it must be working. 38 people. Boom. Talk to me, guys. I'm not getting any comments. I also was going to do it the other way, but I have to be able to see the screen. You guys are epic, and this is going to be epic. Literally, I said goodbye to everybody on TikTok and YouTube, and the last video I did on Facebook was my birthday video saying thank you for being a friend. Oh, it wasn't me. It was Super Squirrel, actually. But there are so many things. Here we go. Peanut butter jelly. I can see you, peanut butter jelly time. Cool name, by the way. So let me give you the broadest point I can give you. We here at this channel are about the truth. You will never get lies from me, false narratives, gaslighting, anything like that, all those popular terms. And I can explain them way better than most people can as well. And I've also, in the meantime, looked up what ego means. You're supposed to have an ego. You're supposed to be proud of yourself, proud of your kids, proud of your family, if they deserve it. And if you deserve it, right? And if not, you make it better. You see what I'm saying? It's not having an ego to being proud of yourself and to tell people your qualifications. I see people all over, and comparison is the theft of joy, right? But whenever you feel down about yourself, and this is why we got to change this stuff, think of people you know in very high places saying the most ignorant things you've ever heard in your life, things that literally hurt people, like telling pregnant women not to take Tylenol. Minafin, aceta. We're going to make a rap out of that. White rapper, I know. Eminem did it. I'm more like a mix of Eminem with Dr. Seuss, though, and I hear he was a bad person, but I mean, as far as how he did the books, Dr. Seuss, Theodore Geisel is his real name, I believe. I guess he was a misogynist and things like that, which we don't allow here. And we don't allow haters here, because all they're doing is putting negativity in the world. If you want to change your life and feel better, bottom line, you must increase your vibe, okay? Everything is energy. You know how you get this feeling in your stomach, something's wrong? That means it usually is. there's so many things I want to talk about, you guys. It's crazy. But let me start off by saying it's the 3-year anniversary of me posting my first edited video as far as on YouTube. 9/26, September of 2022. And my grandma started dying at the beginning of September of 2022, and she was a superhero. She had 7 kids. She was 97 years old. Numbers mean something. There's numbers in nature. I was just talking to someone for 4 hours the other day. It was awesome. Coincidentally, her name was Angel. There are math formulas in nature. For those of you that don't believe in magic, I believe in magic and science. And I'm a nurse practitioner, summa cum laude, from Upstate Medical University in Syracuse, New York. Not praising them or anything. Just telling you guys, this is why I'm qualified to speak. Plus, I'm a SAG-AFTRA union actor. I'm a producer of film and TV. I'm one of those ones that's famous, but nobody knows who you are. Like, okay? One of those dudes. But I believe in making the world a better place and being the change you wish to see in the world. Let me get back to you guys. Braxton, what is your dream in the world? And the 26th was when my grandma died, yes, which adds up to 8. You flip 8, it makes infinity. Numbers are real. It's not a psycho thing. And most of the things you hear, by the way, that they say are conspiracies or hoaxes are really the truth. They're trying to make people look bad that are really telling the truth. And we can get into that another time because I got all kinds of stuff on that. There's a 911 conspiracy video on YouTube. It's like virtually impossible to find because they're covering it up. They're controlling our First Amendment speech, okay? I have so much stuff to talk about. What is my dream? My dream is for a real golden age renaissance period where everybody lives happy, productive, prosperous, peaceful lives. That's my dream. My dream isn't to steal everybody's money, tell people lies, invent false narratives. That's why I'm different than many people. And I'm not saying, you know, there aren't people who aren't doing that with me as well, because I have many friends and many people I collaborate with on all kinds of media and such that I'm talking about in all kinds of aspects, medical, you name it. All right, let me just put this into perspective, some of the stuff. See, that's why I say I don't narrow my topics down. And what my dream is what the dream of everybody should be, basically. Not telling you what to do, or some aspect of it. Okay, doesn't everybody want to be happy? No, everybody doesn't want to be happy. Some people want to self-sabotage, hurt others, not be happy. That's good. You're not allowed here, okay? God, who I'll talk about that some other time for the people who say he's a magical being in the sky. I know, and I'll talk about it now. Is inside you. It's the vibration. It's the good feelings. We want to have good feelings. Take it from someone who's worked in nursing homes for, I don't even know now, 10 years on and off. I ran my own nursing home during the C-word randemic. Here's another conflict of interest. Why can I, as a nurse practitioner, not talk about the C word and say the name of it? Does that make any sense to you? That's limiting my First Amendment right to free speech right there. Do you see what I'm saying? But literally, YouTube says I'm not allowed to talk about it or they'll take me off the air. My other thing is priorities. Priorities are people, lives, animals, nature, earth. People always say, oh, big deal, you go and drill, we need money, blah, blah, blah. Think about it. In the long run, that doesn't get you money because you don't have any water to drink, okay? Because it's all polluted. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything, what goes around comes around. Let me get back to my viewers here. Peanut butter jelly. 3 days before your birthday. There's no such thing as coincidence. It's okay that you left the stream. I had 38 people. Now I have 4. But numbers matter, but in that case, it doesn't matter because people are on and off. Just try to play this, you guys. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm not at the same time. Because think about your life. How do you want your life to be? Do you want to be stressed out? You run in the bathroom and try to pee or poop in the morning. You get in the car. You go into work. Nobody cares about you. You're not getting paid what you deserve. You're making some other idiot rich, usually. Not always. Shouldn't it be a shared thing where we all try to be prosperous? And I want peace in the world is what I want. You see what I'm saying? But I also believe you defend yourself and you defend others and that you do something about things. Martin Luther King Jr. said, if you watch evil occur and do nothing about it, you're just as guilty. And he was darn right. Darn right. And what I will start off by saying is I am neither a Democrat or Republican. It is part of the Matrix. If you've never seen that movie is like literally a blueprint of what they're doing and what we're doing. in the long run to overcome the matrix. If you're an agent of the matrix and you want to hate on me right now, been there, done that. Most of them aren't even intelligent comments. They'll make fun of me in all different ways. Don't care. Sometimes I educate people and stuff like that, but I really don't care anymore who says anything about me. And that's the way you should be. You never let anybody treat you like crap. And I'm not saying you have to explain yourself to people and blah, blah, blah. Do you know how many people said, oh, I don't need to hear your resume, Kevin? And I'm like, evidently you do. Because I have years of study, practice, self-sacrifice to be the best nurse practitioner I can be, which is basically an MD. We're not going to get into that. I've done residencies in neurology, rheumatology, etc. And a surgeon does surgery where people tell me, oh, you can't do surgery, but you're like a regular doctor. No, it's the same exact freaking thing, okay? Except our fields of study are different. And very often they overlap. It's just another thing they made up in the process. I asked before I went to upstate if I could become an MD, and they said you had to go back to school. And I already been in school so long in my life. I have like 7 degrees. And a lot of people will tell me, just for what I just said right now, that I have an ego. If you look up Freud, having an ego and in God, right? God wants you to be happy. Your ancestors want you to be happy. Even if you don't believe in God, keep an open mind here. Get out of the matrix. Think outside the box, okay? God, your ancestors, your family, and yourself should all want you to be happy. Bottom line. I've seen so many people oppressed in this country, so many people abused, neglected, all in the name of money for someone that's already rich that's abusing people, along with our current government. I am not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. They are false narratives. I say get rid of bipartisan. They make it like a football game. They both distract you. They're all in on it together, but there's no honor among thieves. So they also screw each other over. It's so obvious if you open your mind to the big picture. I haven't watched TV in over 5 years. You know why? Because there's subliminal messages. You call me crazy? Look up on YouTube or anywhere on the internet about subliminals. What your brain is told, you will eventually believe. And some disgusting person, I don't want to mention because I don't want to give energy to evil people. Okay, he ran Russia at a time. He didn't even run Russia. He just destroyed people's lives and caused genocide, etc. But he said, if you tell people a lie long enough, they'll believe it. And he's right. And they put this stuff behind what you're watching on TV, commercials, ads, the show themselves, right? Some of them, not saying all of them. Where, like, say you're sitting there and all of a sudden you feel hungry for a McDonald's burger or whatever. It says in the background, come eat McDonald's, keep eating it. It makes you feel better. You feel great and you feel full and blah, blah, blah. And, oh, and it's healthy and blah, blah, blah. All lies, okay? It's fake food. That's another thing I wanted to get into. They've been poisoning our food for years. Look at Europe and look at all the models over there. They won't take our food. There's a reason for it. It's literally genetically modified, okay? And I've had arguments with people about organics, very smart people, but not smart enough because they don't believe in the truth, really. Let me see what you guys are saying as I run my mouth. You're black, is that okay? Of course it is. Of course it is. I do not care about someone's race, ethnicity, what they choose to do sexually, as long as they're not hurting people. Any of that stuff. That's your life. They make it all a big thing about things like that to distract you. I had one of my good friends ask me if I thought racism existed. And I said to him, and I regarded that ever since as one of the stupidest things I've ever said. And I'm usually always right. One time I thought I was wrong, but I was really right. Whole another story. And I said no. And I felt like the biggest idiot in the world. It definitely exists. But it exists in all levels. The ism, there's all kinds of stuff. Just hate alone. Okay? I don't see anybody. I do see people. I shouldn't exaggerate. Whenever you say all or anybody, you're exaggerating. And that's part of the matrix. You got to get out of that. And I do too. How many people these days do you see talking about family values, fun, living your best life, being happy, being healthy, being wise, all that kind of stuff? Not many. This is what I say about how I have to jump around, because I see big picture. It's a gift. Gift and a curse. No, it's ultimately really a gift. Think about it. There's so much stuff going down that's so disgusting, and people are seeing it as normal. It's basic psychology, really. It's how they've all done it. The people have overtaken people, stomped on their necks of the innocent, hurt babies, children, pregnant women, blah, blah, blah. Not saying blah, blah, blah in a get rid of it way, but saying it's true. You know what I mean? 3 days before your birthday, 9/23. That's a good date too. There's numerology that exists in nature of patterns and numbers that cannot be explained by science unless there's a such thing as magic. And if you really believe in science, you believe in magic as well. All of us are vibrating right now. Electrons, protons, neutrons are in the molecules, right? We're all vibrating. Everything is. That pumpkin's vibrating right now. So conceivably, I should be able to look at Bruce Lee. Look at these people call amazing. They were magic. They knew how to harness some of the magic. I should be able to put my arm right through that pumpkin right now if we're vibrating right now. I've seen people who are on hospice that were supposed to die because they had no organs left that lived for years. Literally. It was all what their brain believed. But according to science these days, they don't even barely connect the brain with the body. They act like they're two separate entities. And these people with your heart in your head, and you're thinking logically when you screw somebody over, because that's not logic. Maybe it's bad logic. You see what I'm saying? Our heart is run on electricity. That's how we read EKGs. Our brain fires with electricity. It's synapses. Feel the power. Feel the energy. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't believe, if people think I'm talking violence in my videos, I'm not. I don't believe in violence, but I do believe in it as a last resort. All right, here's the example I gave at one point. Thanks for saying I'm awesome, bro. Spread the word, for real. They try to silence me because I tell the truth. They don't want people to tell the truth. Whenever I say they, I had someone back in the day, they're like, what does they mean? Usually they means the government, okay? In this whole government, I've had people go on both sides and say I'm a crazy liberal and I'm a crazy this and I'm a crazy that or whatever. And I am crazy. Crazy with the white light, okay? Like there's a video where I shoot Musk in the throat and blood shoots out or whatever. But you know why I do that? To symbolize something. Do you see this picture on the wall? That's my grandfather, World War II veteran, blinded his entire life in World War II fighting Nazis. Do you know what Nazis believe in? Themselves only, and not even that. They believe in Satan and evil. Anybody who tortures people, murders people, and all that. And you want to talk to me about violence? You do not give the Nazi sign in front of Americans and still get to steal all our money that you've been doing for years, okay? Bottom line, it's not allowed. Get out of here. You know, and if you want to say violence, put them in jail then, okay? But the example I always use, someone breaks into your house, they got your baby, two of your babies, they're holding them both by the throat, the babies are going, wah, wah, and they say, say, I'm going to kill your baby if you don't give me all your money, blah, 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 and either way, they plan on doing it, and you know this. So you're going to let them do it, you're going to say, oh, please. No, God, yourself, the universe, your ancestors want you to defend those babies, don't they? Is that violent? No. It's defending your right and your baby's right to live against an evil force. Bottom line. Look at Revelations. It's saying word for word right now. This is the time the most evil has ever been seen in the world. I'll give you a chance. Debate me on it. Prove me wrong. I'm listening. I'm waiting. You won't be able to. Bottom line. I served as the medical director of a 250-person nursing home in Norwich, New York, okay, during the C-word pandemic, and I got treated like total garbage, abused myself verbally. They would have done it physically if they could have, but they couldn't. Because I'm strong, and I don't believe in letting people walk all over me. And neither should you. God said, have I not commanded thee? Yes, he has, to do the right thing. You know the right thing from the wrong thing, and I'm not trying to preach to you guys. There are people who need to hear this that probably aren't listening, but I want you guys to spread the word as well. They're confusing everybody with the years of brainwashing, the years of poisoning our food. It's fake food. It's disgusting. You name it. And take it from someone who's seen it for years in medical, okay? It's disgusting. It literally, and by the way, having feelings is not being a weak person. It's the very opposite. You see what I'm saying? Oh, don't cry. Blah, 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 blah. All that kind of stuff. And now we're going to get real. I'm going all out today because God told me to do this video. My grandmother told me to do this video. And when my grandmother died in 9/20/22, you know what she said to me? You're too nice, Kevin. You helped too many people. I'm very proud of you for everything you've accomplished. But you don't ever take no crap from nobody again. And I said, you're right, Grandma. Makes me want to cry right now. She was an amazing woman. She was a superhero. Right now, that spring I go to, a lot of people threw trash down there. I'm going to be taking out the trash someday soon. It's like the Lorax. Watch the Lorax. I've always said that art is life and life is art. Hi. Hear me loud and clear. Thank you so much, my friend. And whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm fully able to get into that, any topic. You see what I'm saying? But people need to hear the truth. We've been lied to for so long. It's disgusting. And what I call for, elections. I get people all the time. I can't believe so many people voted for this person or that person. Okay? You think about this thing, nobody wants to talk about this stuff I'm talking about. They're scared. And especially now, look what happened with Jimmy Kimmel. He didn't say anything about that thing that happened in the past. What he was saying was that it was going to be twisted in a political way, and that's what happened, okay? And I've heard Maine people, including Trump, stand up there and literally say to put violence on people. January 6th, I believe it was 2016, there was a riot started in which innocent people, innocent police officers were beaten, and the criminals that did it were pardoned. All because Trump didn't get elected. But this has been going on for years. George Bush Jr. and George Bush inherently should not have been presidents. They own oil companies. How the heck can you be fair to American citizens who are working, the home of the free and the brave? And it should be a Renaissance golden period right now. But you run an oil company, inherently, where is your bias? You're not allowed to run, according to the Constitution of the United States of America. And I am very intelligent. And I have it on my, hold up you guys, on my thing here, even though I usually remember it. And it's not even an eidetic memory. I remember things long-term as well. Eidetic is like photographic, but they say photograph is a fake memory. Either way, it's a gift and a curse. But I looked this up, and I could probably just recite it instead of doing it, but I want to have it correct. Totally correct. Okay, so you guys all got to listen to me. You know why you all have to listen to me? No matter what aspect of your life you want to live, if you want to be happy, you have to listen to me. And if you want to live in the false matrix and go along with the government, all the government is in on it together, right? Here's where we get real, people. All in, right? Passion, excitement, fun, inner child. If you're like anything like me, you had your inner child beat for your whole life. And not just in physical ways, in other ways too. Do you see what I'm saying? God wants us to have fun, to live our best life. I'm not living my best life, and I'm sick of it. I help people, I sacrifice, I've saved lives. Do you see what I'm saying? But anybody who does things like that, for the most part, in this world, including in the United States of America, guess what happens? They're put down so that the leaders, you don't take the false prophet leaders' jobs who are making all this money, never worked a day in their life, don't believe in peace and prosperity. Don't believe in being honest. This is happening my whole life too. I got 2 aides I work with now. I've worked 25 years, right? So do you think they'd be making more money than someone who's a brand new hire or not? Certified nurses aides, they're called, right? Wouldn't you think they'd be making $20 more an hour for 25 years of loyal, hard work, service, and dedication? So say the ones they make, I think, 19 or 20, right? A new hire. They make $21 an hour or something like that. Now tell me how that is of God, country, and America at all, in any way whatsoever. It's not. How many people have you known work their whole life and they're getting ready to retire and they make up some reason and fire them and they lose everything? I've known many people like that. This isn't fake stuff. I only talk the truth. And I don't give you false narratives. I give you the truth. There's no way in hell without government participation in 9/11 that could have occurred. No way in hell. We don't have radar. We didn't know 3 different planes were going 3 different directions to bomb into buildings. This is what I'm saying. It happened, but it wasn't caused directly by them. American people who should not be in America caused it. And I mean the government and all associated with it. And I say we haven't, all the elections are rigged. Al Gore won, they took it away from him, made up a reason, and gave it to George Bush in the past. The one who could barely speak, you know. That's where I was talking about comparison isn't always the theft of joy. I compare myself to George Bush. I've got over 20 years of college experience, straight A's in multiple levels, film and art, tons of credits on IMDb. By the way, that people ruin, liars who make up false narratives ruin my IMDb. It's under Kevin A. Wall. I will only, people, oh, here we go. I will only do business with people. No, I will never mix business and pleasure, is what people say to me about when I'm their friend, if we're going to do business or whatever. I'm the opposite. I will only do business with people who are good people. Bottom line, if you're evil in any way whatsoever, you want to lie to me, play games with me, lead me on, or other people, the innocent people, I don't want nothing to do with you. Now, this is where it gets real. And it's not just about my life, but compared to your whole life. And seriously, sometimes I'm older than I think I am. I'm like thousands of years old, really. But in reality, I'm also 7 years old and also 28 years old. It's a long story. Because even my fantasy is real. You know why? Because it's not fantasy and it's of the white light. And because there's, in quantum theory, there are alternate timelines. And that's how you be a magician. You bring those timelines into reality of what's happened. That's why there's past lives. That's why you see things in your dreams sometimes, if you're open, that talk about things and you're like, how did that happen? And things that happen that seem like they're total. Okay, we're going to get real in a minute. But speaking of babies and the innocent getting hurt on a daily basis in this world and country, that's what I'm about preventing. Live in DC? Knowledge, exactly. Where there are bombs in the towers. I have a video for you. It's difficult to find, but when you find it, you'll know it. It's a 5-minute video called 911, a conspiracy theory. But it's very difficult to find because they don't want you to see the truth, like I was saying. Part of that is how the buildings went like this from getting hit in the side. Okay, scientifically, how can a building fall like it's being demolition, like it's in a demolition, when the plane hit it here? It should have gone like this, right? Or at least blown out, right? But instead it went. But what do I know? You know, I just have a master's degree and 6 other degrees and all that. What do I know? I know the truth when I see it, and I know a lie when I see it. Exactly, man. But look that video up. It's almost like a comedy show. And at the end, they show how they use making false narratives and calling people conspiracy theorists and saying that you're not an American if you don't believe in what they say, blah, blah, blah. You also must read the book, I believe there's movies too, 1984, A Brave New World. And as for movies, Mad Max is like right now, Terminator, Total Recall. My whole life, I grew up with people saying how they didn't trust the government and politicians were crooks. Oh, that's what I was getting at. Come here, Floyd. Floyd just had a tapeworm, and I think I did too. Oh, so this is my grandfather, World War II veteran, blinded with shrapnel, fighting the Nazis in World War II so that people could live a better life. Otherwise, we'd be speaking German right now, possibly, while having Nazis tell us what to do. This is what I'm all talking about. What we're seeing right now is worse than that time period. It's similar in many ways, don't get me wrong. But in World War II, they didn't get involved, and there's a whole thing about baiting the Japanese for that too. They didn't get involved until, I think it was 3 or 4 years after the war started, even though they knew people were being tortured, innocent people, and they should have known that it wasn't going to end with that. It was going to come to America, just like now with Russia and Ukraine. This is the year 2025. We ain't living back in the old days where, you know, sometimes it's unfortunate because I'd like to call people out to a, you know, unalive match myself, because that's what I was saying. I don't believe in violence, but some people, man, you know what I mean? Putin's a great example. Biggest ego you've ever seen. The only thing he ever did right was murder and abuse the right people and trying to cause a genocide, etc. So anyway, my grandfather told me to do this. My grandmother, the other one on the other side, was a wife of a war veteran. I barely met that grandfather, though. Both my grandmothers and my mother are named Mildred. God bless them all. They're amazing people. And you're amazing for just watching me. I was going to stop doing YouTube, TikTok, Instagram altogether. My name is Kevin Wall on Facebook, but I don't get on there because I've been harassed in so many ways. Had my life threatened, everything, with no protection. Wouldn't you think a nurse practitioner in the pandemic, someone would be saying, oh, we'll help you, we'll do this, we'll do that. You know how many people I've helped? And then they disappear or whatever. And I'm not making fun of everybody, but you know what I mean? If we all stick together as part of my message too, we can overcome all this BS. I say we do an election that's not rigged, And we don't have Democrats or Republicans. And basically, unless you can prove you've ever done anything right, get rid of Senate, Congress, judicial, and put people in who are real leaders, who are really concerned about the freedom of the people, the defense of the people, the protection of the people, who really want people to have a good lives. Look at some of these European countries, like Canada and stuff. Nationwide health care, which I've got all kinds of college books that will tell you they don't want you to have nationwide health care in America, because then they can't make money off the pharmaceutical industry and all the corporatocracy, all the corporations. Duh, come on, man. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America, where we have heroes who died for this country, who were blinded for this country, and they are treated like total garbage, most of them. Most of them are living on the streets and homeless, if not dead already. And I can give you examples for all you who say that's not true. There are some they take care of. They got to make it look good sometimes. And I'm sick of it. I'm totally sick of it. And that's why I'm doing this video now. I did my first edited video of me and my grandma, and I am a superhero. I believe in Stan Lee. I am Spider-Man 7.0. Stan Lee believed in truth, justice, in the real American way. He was the creator of Marvel. Now all these companies, they've been running your lives for years. How do you feel about having idiots tell you what to do just because they have money? And in the meantime, abuse your children? Probably devil worshiping. I don't know if I'd put it exactly that way, my friend. But there are definitely people that do. For those that left, I want you guys to please all come back. I've watched many things on YouTube, and I can tell what's interesting and boring, and I know I'm interesting, or I wouldn't have been appointed in this place to do so. I used to give speeches and get standing ovations. And you know why? It's not just about me. It's about my heart and what I'm telling people to inspire them to also do better, to be great themselves. We truly will make things great. We should be living in a golden age right now. We should be living in paradise. If you want to live in that matrix and have someone tell you what to do while they steal your money and abuse you, then you shouldn't be watching this. Not to be rude, or else you can watch it and learn possibly. What they're doing now is a blueprint from every movie ever done in the world about government control and how they hurt people and the innocent. Bottom line, how is there human sex trade in the Epstein Island that existed for years in this country allowed to go on and barely ever? I didn't even know about Epstein. I had my ex tell me about it. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, in this day and age? But think about it. How many times you heard about the human sex trade and then it just disappears? I'll probably get silence for that, for saying the S word now too. People need to think about priorities. Priorities. I have people tell me all the time, your job is the priority. Yes, it is important to be at your job, especially with someone like me when I'm a nurse practitioner, right? But it's also important, other things come up that are important too. You know what I mean? Like you have a sick baby, etc. Where's the values? Where's the morality? I had some idiot, I was listening to a video about general life and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to make fun of people. Sometimes they're half right and half wrong, and sometimes they're all the way right, and sometimes they're all the way wrong. But just as a quick example, she goes, oh, dating for money, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Isn't that what prostitution is? So you're going to tell me it's okay to hurt someone's heart, feelings, destroy someone else's life so that you can make a little money? And then they say, oh, it's just dating. It's not really. It's people's lives, man. Have you ever been hurt in a relationship? And you didn't think someone would do what they did to you? That's not just dating. That's just not being together. When you're together, you have a promise to be faithful and honorable. If you want to break up, that's one thing. But you do it in a way where you do the right thing. I'm about doing the right thing here. I should be viral everywhere. I hit all the requirements to get paid on YouTube freaking 2 years, 6 months ago. And then they keep adding more requirements. And they have more rules to limit your free speech. It's supposed to be for 18 and over. So why can't you swear every now and then? Which I see people doing and getting away with. It depends on if they're making YouTube or TikTok money or whatever. And I'm also about being genuine and real. And don't get me wrong, I used the AI to make me and Floyd, my cat, into cool things and stuff like that before. But this AI is dangerous. Just watch Total Recall with Skynet, and you'll see exactly what's going on with that too. But they're so dumb, the people who invent it. Like, it'll say things against them. It'll tell the truth that Musk is a Nazi, his own robots and all this stuff. And on that note, I work in healthcare, right? In film and TV. Star Trek. If you've never seen it, you got to watch Star Trek. That's an ideal way of life, other than being on the ship and all that. I'm not really into that. But live long and prosper. They believe in real ideals and helping people, etc. And there was one Star Trek Voyager, I think. The one with, speaking of, sir, an African-American captain, I believe. Though sometimes you can't even tell these days because I'm mixed with Native American, for example. You know? And I can feel it with nature and all that. My grandma used to take me to see the wolves. That's why I concentrate on wolves a lot. Or I'm obsessed with wolves, I guess you could say. Obsessed is the wrong word. You should be passionate and joyful about things anyway. And people don't like that. They want you to go along with the status quo, the matrix, be an agent of the matrix, work your whole life. I prefer to work smarter, not harder, to inspire people and to bring the world truly to peace, happiness, prosperity. Many European countries pretty much have done it for years, comparatively especially. We literally should be living in a golden age of peace, prosperity, invention, working with what God gave us to begin with nature, instead of destroying it. Do you know how many cures for medical ailments were in the rainforest that I'm sure is totally destroyed by now? You know why they destroyed it? To have farmland, supposedly. To have farmland for the cows for McDonald's, right? There's so many things, and they'll call me a conspiracy theorist about all these things. Oh, I have never been paid for a single video I do. If that shows you my background and my bias, okay? And if you don't believe me, I can prove it in a million ways. Everything I've done, I've never been paid for. And there's days on multiple platforms, I did like 22 videos altogether or whatever. You know what I mean? And people have loved my videos, but then they go up and down. You know why? Because they silenced me with the algorithm. Like TikTok just sold the algorithm to America, but it didn't really sell it to America. It sold it to a South African immigrant, which I'm all for immigration too, legally, of good people. And that brings me to another subject. What are you going to do when ICE jumps you? They're not doing it to the criminals. They're doing it to the good people that disagree with anything in the government. And why do you think Trump gets up there and says it's all the left-wing conspiracists, evil people that hate America are doing all this? He's trying to make a separation, a civil war, just like he did in 2016. It's textbook dictator. And they're all in on it. Biden's saying that if you didn't get the COVID vaccine, that you're a murderer. I can't get vaccines. I got the flu shot, and guess what? I laid on the ground for 2 days writhing. That's one, and I'm not going against vaccines as a healthcare provider. I believe in the normal ones, MMR, blah, 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 blah. But most people, if you actually do the research, the CDC lies and uses a different algorithm to show that the flu shot works for 95% of people when the number is closer to 7%. Plus, these kind of things do have additives in them that ultimately hurt you. And there is massive amounts of evidence about it. I don't know why nobody talks about it, except I do know. Like a primary care provider I used to work for in Portland, she'd push the flu shot. She makes money on it all, and so does the insurance companies. That's why. Come on, man. If it was made the right way, without all these additives and garbage, and it actually was safe and effective, generally safe and effective, okay? That's what the FDA is supposed to do, which they don't do. That's what I'm saying. I can go on so many tangents on this stuff. But I do believe in the normal vaccines, okay? That's another funny thing. You got the government now. The guy who's running the Department of Health and Human Services, I think he actually said, don't ever trust anything I say. And people still listen to this idiot. And then they're both saying, to Thailand, no, acetaminophen, blah, blah, blah. Don't ever take it. If you have a fever, just die of the fever, blah, blah, blah. It's wrongful medical advice. It could get your baby killed or yourself. Come on, man. And these guys are allowed to talk and say that to the whole public, but they want to talk about insensitive and sensitive comments and take it. And the reason it's not just about free speech, it's not just about comedians making a joke, people. It's not about that at all, my friends. That's what they want to twist it to. The right to a comedian to make a joke. You know what humor is based in? The truth! Everything most of these comedians are saying is the truth. That's the problem all these false prophets have with these people. They're saying the truth. Here's one for you. I'll go this far. South Park and Matt and Trey, or whatever their names are, geniuses. Pretty much everything they say is the exact freaking truth. And I'm going to go this far. ICE is not police officers. I respect the law when it's enforced the right way to serve and protect. These aren't police officers. They're regular people getting paid 50 grand to wear military outfits and go arrest innocent people who are true Americans. They're not arresting the criminals they talk about, the migrants, the criminals, the gang members, the pedophiles, because most of them in the government have either allowed the human sex trade to go on for years or are a part of it themselves. Call me a liar. If I get shot right now, you know why. Because I tell the truth. And I fear nothing because I know I'm right. Whatever you guys want to talk about, though, because I do believe in having fun, and I do believe in making jokes about what I do, and I do believe in being interesting no matter what the subject matter. Let me see what you guys are saying. We're two of a kind. That's awesome. Freemasonry is a way of thinking. Europeans are the leaders of the future. Well, this is what I'm saying, man. There's so many things that were said back in the day that are told the truth. Look at that thing I read to you guys about the Constitution. I can read it again. It's supposed to be about peace and tranquility. So when you inherently have a dude saying we should do violent things to other people, right away you know he's not promoting tranquility. And that's our so-called leader. Do you notice how they get richer and richer and we get poorer and poorer? I've noticed it very well in healthcare. And I've noticed that every time throughout all these years of living, whenever I've blown the whistle, I've gotten totally screwed over. That's why they don't keep me. I'm not saying there aren't some good people in leadership positions. I'm not saying that at all. But most people you ever meet who administrate anything, usually have the least education, life skills, experiences, and heart and brain of anybody, because they're just collecting the money and they send it to the government. I believe in working smarter, not harder. I believe in everybody being happy. Did you know in Europe that guys get paternity leave where they can leave their job, someone else can fulfill it. They're not even competing over it. Why compete? You know, right? And a guy can take, I think it's like 2 years off so they can raise their children. Does anybody care about their kids anymore? And I'm not saying that, I know people do. You know what I mean? I'm saying in general. Like, look at the false matrix. I don't see anybody talking about family values or anything like that, or making your kids and yourself healthy, doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And you can't eat healthy in America. You can to a point. You can get organic options. Whenever I don't eat organic stuff and it's a mix of chemicals and genetically modified and pesticides and all that we're literally eating, they found it in children's and mother's breast milk, like silicone, Roundup, glyphosate, you name it. But I'm just a liar. You know, even though there's scientific studies proving it. They poisoned us for years and brainwashed us all for years. Take it from someone who stopped watching TV 5 years ago. I watch what I want to watch on YouTube, the internet, TikTok. And I like TikTok's format. It's funny, and you can do messages in there. All my videos have messages inherently embedded in them. And by the way, if this is my last video, it's my last video. It depends on what happens. God tells me what to do, and myself tells me what to do. And I believe in myself, and I'm freaking proud of my accomplishments, and I should be. I'm also proud of people like Martin Luther King. I'm proud of people who stand up for the innocent and the weak. I'm proud of people, even if you have to turn this way right now from listening to me, okay? Why are you a Democrat? Why are you a Republican? It's a false narrative. It's gaslighting, all of it. They all don't stand up for their own values, right? In this college book, I have, not this one, a different one. I've got a whole room full of college books. And if you want to say I'm just an educated idiot or whatever, I have life experiences as well, many, beyond what many people have done. And I'm not bragging, it's the truth, like I said. I've seen human experimentation be done in Binghamton, New York on a person. They didn't sew up an abdominal wound and she had no family, coincidentally. And they send her to me with a foot-long abdominal wound for a possible obstruction, which I don't even believe she had. I think they were just doing an experiment on her. No stitches, no sutures, no nothing. Tell me how that seems like a good idea to you. You always sew somebody up. If there's, you have to make sure the surgery, the benefits outweigh the risks, okay? If you guys can't hear me, let me know. I'm generally loud in general, but sometimes I'm really quiet. I go hermit, everything, because I got to get rid of the bad energy. I'm an empath, and many people are, and many people have these skills. And they would say they're magical, spiritual. Some people say you're crazy. Okay. When people don't listen to me, let me put it this way. It's a funny way too, I think. When people haven't listened to me in the past, bad things have happened. Bottom line, literally. I'm not saying I'm always right, just most of the time. Maybe it's 97%. I don't know. But enough that you should listen to this and take into consideration what I'm saying. You see what I mean? Unlike people who just say ignorant, stupid comments. Oh, that's what I was getting at. How do you start a whole section of people that are not trained, honorable police officers, which there are many that are like that, and just like any other profession, there are many that are evil too. But this ICE thing, they're giving people 50 grand to join this and kick people out of the country that are hardworking, most of them real American citizens. I heard they deported a 2-year-old baby. And there was outrage, but nothing like the outrage about what Jimmy said. And you know what Jimmy said? He said they were probably just going to frame it in the wrong way and give you a false narrative. Okay? That's all he said. He didn't say anything insensitive at all. I don't believe in political violence myself. I don't believe in violence at all. But like I said, there comes a time. Like if someone, like I told you, the house example. Look at the thing with Putin. He's causing genocide right now. And do you ever notice that everybody's being nice to all these dictators, right? But if someone's a good person, they'll literally insult them. Like, look at that thing at the UN the other day. How disgusting, you know? To say all these things are hoaxes that have been, for people who like science alone and don't believe in magic, scientifically proven that there's climate change. It's scientifically proven that Tylenol is the only, there's probably herbs and stuff that I don't know of, by the way, though, because of the healthcare system in general. But Tylenol is the only thing that I know of, and no, I'm not an obstetrician or a gynecologist or anything like that. Thank God I don't want to be, but anyway, I never wanted nothing to do with that. I wanted to become Ayurvedic, they also call it complementary and alternative, like it's some weird thing to take an herb to cure yourself instead of, right? If you could go outside, which you could, and pick willow bark for a headache, why would you ever buy, in this particular case, Aleve, which is naproxen, Tylenol, which is acetaminophen, ibuprofen, which is Motrin? Why would you ever, right? But long story short, Tylenol is basically the only thing a pregnant woman can take for a fever safely to the fetus, for a fever or pain. And when you become a baby, it's either Tylenol or ibuprofen for a fever or pain. So what they're saying is you let the baby die of a fever when they say, literally, not to take Tylenol. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life because there really aren't many other options. But my books say, literally, they've been working on nationwide healthcare in America since like 1923. Really? I could have fixed it like all these proclamations these other people would say. I could have fixed it in no time, a matter of months. But they don't want to do nationwide healthcare because then the insurance companies and the idiots aren't making money. Take it from a healthcare provider. I've seen them, people pick the wrong insurance plan. Why do they have 100 insurance plans for elderly people? So they picked the wrong one. She couldn't get an MRI of her shoulder. Okay? I called every day for a week and I said all the tests she has failed. She can't lift her arm up above here. She's obviously got tears and needs an MRI to have subsequent surgery if she chooses to do so, and if the benefits outweigh the risk. So that went on for 6 months. We gave her pain control and everything else, and they finally let us do the MRI, and her whole shoulder is like destroyed. She couldn't even fix it. So what costs more money in the long run? And what's the better idea? I do believe in logic, the right logic. When people say it's logical, for example, to screw somebody over that's always been good to you, and you have an agreement to do things for each other, and instead they decide to screw you over, that's not using your brain and your logic and your mind or your heart. And they should be together. You are worthy and complete the way you are. You don't separate logic from feelings. And I know they say it's inherently different. Don't get me wrong. You can for certain circumstances. You know what I mean? But hear me out. You're in a relationship with somebody for a few years or whatever. You agree you're a team. You're working your butts off together. And they all of a sudden say all these things about you that aren't true. and say they don't want you in their life and blah, blah, and go and spread rumors about you and ruin your good name, which in the case of a healthcare provider or anybody else in the world is called defamation of character. It's illegal in the United States of America. But you have the government doing it all the time because they got it. Distraction's another thing they use, by the way. They want to distract you from the truth. Why don't we have an election and elect a group of people, get rid of them all, Democrats, Republicans, everything, unless they are good people, right? Replace them, have an election now. Not in years from now, so they can keep destroying the country. Now, we the people say so. And put in real leaders who aren't just concerned about money. Of course, we all need to make money. That's how we buy things, right? Although I've done the barter system and I've done things for free myself. And I have people questioning me about the reality of my credentials as being a nurse practitioner. Oh, you can write scripts? Are you sure? I'll do it the right way, Kevin. I am the right way. Just because I'm not with a corporation, I'm not real. I'll write you a script. No, I don't do narcotics and all that for like funny people. But I've very often done it for free for people who had an infection and they couldn't afford to go to the doctor with insurance or without it, or didn't have the time, literally. So sue me. I'm fearless in the name of all that is good. April 26, 2016, I lost my son to a rare condition called HELLP syndrome. 0.02% of pregnancies are affected. Like I said, it's not all about me. Before that, I was always a true warrior too. And I was always having people tell me what the right thing to do was, while they tell me that the government is evil, but yet they support Republicans or Democrats, right? And no, I'm not a communist, and I'm not a Nazi, I'm not a fascist, I'm not far left, I'm not far right. You know what I am? I'm far correct right. With the white light, no matter what color you are. As long as you're above the par, and you do what's good in your neighborhood. Yeah, I think I'm funny. Let me read some comments, you guys. Fortunately, T, hi. Only got 2 people. I don't care. Because like I said, if this is the last video I do, it's the last, and that's what was meant to be. But I had to get it out there. I had to go all out with everybody. Because there's many things. I guess some people say my videos are cringe, but they don't understand what they're looking at. And I say, how is Spider-Man cringe? How is turning into a werewolf cringe? Have you ever seen a movie before? Life is art and art is life. Where'd everybody go? Come back, you guys. You really got to hear this. I'm not even doing this for myself. In fact, my lips are dry, I can barely talk, and I got to pee all at the same time because I drink too much coffee. Coffee potentially prevents Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, they say. But either way, it's actually kind of good for you if you don't overdo it like me. Sometimes I drink too much. I wanted Floyd to be involved in this. I had a bow tie for him, but he got under the stove to take a nap. But he just had fleas and tapeworms, and he was sick since June 12th, on and off. And I did nothing but care for him 24 hours a day. Not nothing. I still did videos then, and still worked at the job I'm at now. But I could tell you guys so many secrets that literally could get me unalive, speaking of political violence. There's another thing. I don't believe in the word politics. You know what the word politics means? Lies. I believe in truth, justice, and the real American way. Trying to think of examples here. Oh, the nationwide healthcare thing. They've been lying to you about that since 1923. You really think someone couldn't figure that out by now, how to give everybody nationwide healthcare? And then they say, oh, they'll tax you too much and blah, 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 and make up all these lies to make people spread those lies as a false narrative. Therefore, we don't have nationwide healthcare, and the insurance companies abuse the innocent all the time, and the pharmaceutical companies, and the healthcare system itself overall, which I am involved in. But that's why I got threatened, I got treated like crap, and I was fired after running an entire nursing home during COVID. Shit, I said the word, oh my God, shoot me. That's why it's not just free speech, and it's not just comedy and the right for comedians to say jokes. You see what I'm saying? Why can I not say the word of the virus and the randemic? Why am I not qualified to do that? I'm the only one, not the only one, but one of the only ones that should even be talking about it. I can tell you what happened. You have all these people in the government, like when Biden said that you were literally a murderer if you didn't get the shot. Do you know how many people I went to see that got 7 of the shots and 7 boosters and they still got it? And then they'll say, oh, you didn't get it. It's bad because you got the shots, blah, blah, blah. I won't spread the false rhetoric. I spread the truth. And I'm not anti-vaccinations, but I think they should be cleaned up and be more effective and safe, even the ones in childhood. And I do believe in MMR. I do believe in preventing polio and Ebola and all that. Oh, here we go. A guy from South Africa, a white dude from South Africa that everybody knows has said multiple times that he's on all kinds of drugs, ketamine, and he's not a genius. He stole the idea from somebody else. I'm absolutely sure of it. All the ideas. It's because he had money to begin with, probably from hurting innocent people, being a Nazi that he is. He came to America. He's got all our government contracts. He's in on it with the other one. Now we just found out he was on the island too, coincidentally. So, you know, anybody that's been in government knows about all these things, right? For the most part, I believe. So all these years, say even the last 20 years, why did nobody do anything about it? Why do we have an option of picking one fool or another to vote for? And why does our votes don't even matter anyway? And why do we have to wait years to get somebody out of there? Bill Clinton back in the day was impeached for getting a BJ and lying about it. In the first month or 2 months or something like that, Trump was in office. They have on record, documented scientifically, of lying something around the 3,000 times. So I'm going to just take a minute to compare myself to most everybody that's been in the government, at least in my lifetime. Am I old or am I young? You'll never know. It's because I'm both. I am duality, in a good way though. Because even my dark side is good. What was I saying? But you got to see The Matrix with Keanu Reeves. And I believe, I don't really know this because I don't know the guy. I do know many people in film, by the way, who would totally help me if they saw one of my videos, but the algorithm limited. Oh, Musk. You're sending up billions of dollar rockets, right? Why there's people literally starving to death with no insurance, or their insurance doesn't cover them. I saw a Vietnam War veteran get denied a medicine that would have saved his life. My ex's father, his name was David, and he was a real American, one of the best people I ever met. Not that it has anything to do with it, but he was black. And although it's kind of funny, in this country in the 50s, there was still inherent racism, and people actually believed that was right then. So it hasn't been that long. These kind of people pervert justice, pervert honor, pervert the truth for many, many years. And I see all kinds of innocent, amazing people suffering, including myself, every day, with nothing being done about it. All these bull crap things being spread about how the government's helping you and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so Biden took away potentially some of the student loans or something, I heard, right? But in the meantime, he went and made a deal for himself, of course, just like Trump does, for himself, Democrat, Republican. That's why I say get rid of them all. Supreme Court has also voted in Trump's favor 14 out of 16 times when he's inherently breaking the constitutional laws right away. It's supposed to be to promote defense and tranquility. Instead, you're sending in federal troops and people that are not qualified to be police officers, who do not identify themselves, which I'm pretty sure is the Fifth Amendment, that you have the right to no search and seizure without proof to do so, right? There's another amendment. If a bunch of people come to your house all wearing black and try to grab you, you're just going to let them so they can deport you or whatever they're really doing to you? You see what I'm saying? It's disgusting. It's literally from Nazi Germany and beyond. All these people. That's the kind of country we're going towards. A country where if you say something that your government doesn't like, boom! Right? So what do you think would happen, based on just knowing me this short time, if 10 people showed up wearing all black to my house? I have the right to defend my home and my family, that's what. And I will do it for anybody else too, because it's illegal. The whole organization is illegal. And you can afford to pay them $50,000, but not regular Americans who've been working their whole lives to make the world a better place, to heal people, to save lives. You know how many lives I've saved and how many people have treated me like crap? I got chained to a wall July 11, 2023 for false lies about me and my character. For 14 hours, denied food and water. Then I went to meet with the judge the next day. I started telling them what happened. They said, get him out of here. I wasn't allowed to talk about it. Still haven't been. Got harassed and treated like crap. And I know others it's happened to too. Guess what their justification was? I don't get to talk to a lawyer and a judge because I got there half an hour late, even though a police officer called me up, said all I had to do was go down and make a statement. So I thought I'd go down and make a statement and do the right thing if I just waited to the next day. Supposedly, because of COVID, you can only talk to a lawyer and a judge from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I got to spend 14 hours. What if I was diabetic? What if I was on call for other people's lives? They didn't give a crap. And not blaming some of the ones that were there. A particular one I am. And you know who you are. And I will have justice. Told him to go back to school and quit being a fool. Because there are honorable police officers. There's honorable people of every race. Except for Nazis. Anybody who inherently, and don't get me wrong, I'm cool with the devil on my back, hellhounds, cool stuff like that. Because inherently, things like that are showing that they're fighting that. You know, like the show Supernatural with Sam and Dean. You know what I mean? But why is a werewolf evil? Why is a vampire evil, right? Did you ever see Twilight? I know it's old now or whatever. It's all false narratives. But art is life and life is art. And you guys all know what I'm talking about from every kind of thing. I predicted many things. I've had visions of things. I told people what to do, and I've seen them do the wrong thing. And usually I don't even say I told you so. I wish I did, though. And sometimes I do. And sometimes I'm just like, I'm done with you. If you want to live your life like that, go ahead. Is everybody still here? I know I can go on and on, but it's important. Peanut butter jelly. I only got one person and 2 likes in an hour. The numbers don't matter in this case, but they do, but they don't. Thank you, Peanut Butter Jelly Time, and everybody. But like I said, if this is the last video I do, it's the last video. I have had enough. I'm going all out. And not with my videos, because I already did that. They have a thing about how, which you should always get better, don't get me wrong. But you also have to remember that you're worthy, whole, and complete the way you are. Floyd, get out from under the oven. People are always talking about making themselves better, like you're not good the way you are. That's the problem I have with it. You are perfect the way you are. And yes, we can always improve. I can put my muscle back on instead of some, don't get me wrong. Well, I think I had a tapeworm too. Not a brainworm like that other idiot who knows nothing about healthcare that's running it in the government right now, though. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Compare my accomplishments. 7 degrees. I can get tons of people to write letters of recommendation, professional letters for me. And there's plenty of people who can say bad things about me, too. That place I was working during the C word pandemic. And I'm going to use the K word. I don't care. I have the right to my free speech. This is adults only, 18 plus. And actually, it's for kids, too, really. Kids see enough disgusting lies on TV all the time that they should be able to watch someone like me who's telling the truth, whether I swear or say the K word or not. And I don't mean Kevin in this case. All right, so there's a maintenance guy who's about 6'2", skinny, and I'm in the other room when I'm running an entire facility, mind you, so I should have protection from the government, from the police, from everybody in this case, right? And I did call the police, and nothing was done, basically. Because like I said, not all police officers are honorable, obviously. But many are. You got to figure that out with your discernment and your energy. Anyway, he's calling the aides and the nurses' names and screaming at them at the top of his lungs where you could hear it throughout the whole 1 floor of this Norwich rehabilitation. Come and sue me, guys. Same with Team Health and all you monopolies, the ones who have been running them for years. Don't care. Van Doom in Syracuse. Don't care. You people deserve to literally go to frickin' HE double hockey sticks now for what you've done. Abusing patients, residents, and staff for your own money and that of the 2 owners. Literally. Anyway, Norwich Rehabilitation Center. So I hear this guy screaming and calling the nurses and aides names, and I go and I say, is there a reason you're screaming and saying these things to these people? And he goes, I got a lot to do, blah, 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 blah. And I said, we all have a lot to do. Take your time. I'm in charge. You know, what's there to rush about at this point? Because they didn't know what COVID was when I started. They thought it was the flu and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And there was like 9 people who got sick right away. And there's all different degrees of it. And by the way, if you want a conspiracy theory, how does something go from, we used to vaccinate dogs for it. There's always been the C virus, always. But it was never this lethal. Then all of a sudden it's lethal, but it It unalived many people in their 30s of perfect health that may have been a little bit chubby. Tell me how that works. It's usually the very young and the very old, right? But I suppose that's just, another lie I'm doing. I don't lie. Anyway, so I said, plus it's the C word. Can you please put your mask and your stuff on while you're doing the room, man, And he just stares at me like a freaking fool. And he is. And karma's real. After this, he had a stroke, a CVA, a cerebral vascular accident, but it was no accident. It was because of what he did to me. And it's happened to many people. And I don't wish that upon him, but they wanted it that way. Sorry. Too bad, so sad, MFer. Anyway, I start to leave the room. And he'd said nasty stuff to me before, and I kind of let it go and all that kind of stuff. But you always do stick up for yourself, too. I know people tell you not to and ignore people and play those kind of games. And at a point, there does come a point, don't get me wrong. But initially, you don't let anybody degrade you, ever, no matter what your capacity. I don't care if your job is to pick up garbage. I don't care. You deserve respect as a person, Anyway, the story goes on. So I start to leave the room, and he goes, I'm gonna kill the effing doctor in the parking lot later. Okay, and I have very good hearing, like a wolf. And not all wolves are bad either. That's a lie. So I go back in, I go, excuse me? And he goes, I'm gonna effing kill you in the mother effing parking lot later. And I said, I'm gonna kill you first. And he goes, no, I'm gonna kill you. You know how that starts with the immaturity like that, right? I had to defend myself because nobody else would do it in my defense of the other people. And mind you, it's the P word, randemic, right? So I should have been fully supported because I did not make a murder threat against somebody during a randemic. I guess they talked to him when I reported it later. I don't even know what happened. But that was it. Never heard another word about it, of course, because I'm righteous. The guy should have been thrown in jail. Words, you should have the right to free speech, but when you say directly that you're going to unalive somebody to their face and have a plan to do so in the parking lot later, that's a threat of homicide. What are we living in here? You know what I mean? Not to mention slander, defamation of character, and all that for a lot of people who say things that are not true about people because they're jealous or evil, basically. I'll get back to the porn thing. That's so funny, by the way. So anyway, someone grabbed me, pulled me back, said I was making everything worse. No, you should have fired that guy, and he should have been arrested, by the way. You guys have to watch this later for a lot of people that had things to do. Now everybody left. These algorithms, man. Yeah, put it in charge of a guy who's a Nazi and see what happens. If you don't say the things they want you to say, then they're going to limit your views. Or if it's not inherently totally stupid, like, or whatever. Wow, let's go viral with the stupidest thing you ever heard. Stupidest person. Not really. But you know what I'm talking about. It's just annoying. Anyway. So, I think it was the next day. They have a meeting with 10 people, all against me, right? And they said that I was a bully, and I bullied the guy. And that he was handicapped. And I said, it looks to me like he ambulated fine. Plus he's 6'2", and look how tall I am. Plus I'm running the place, and if you're loyal to the people that you hire in any way whatsoever, you would stick by the one who was doing the right thing, who didn't call nurses and aides names and or scream at them or whatever it was, and all that, and wasn't wearing his stuff for the C word, which whether it totally protects or not is in question, but either way. That's what I asked him to do. I was polite. I said, please, the whole 9 yards. And that's what I get for it, is for him to say he's going to unalive me in the parking lot later. So this whole group of 10 people get together, including a very ignorant person, Satan herself, that runs the place with no qualifications. Zero. Except she collects all the money. Them all telling me that I'm a bully and everything I did was wrong. There you go. Pure stupidity and ignorance. Instead of protecting me, that's what they chose to do. In this day and age, I could have walked out in the parking lot and got one in the throat. Right? So I'm supposed to let that go? And I didn't mean to be all negative, you guys, but it's not negativity when it's truth. And the truth shall set you free. And there are many people not telling the truth. You know the people that are telling the truth? South Park. They're the main ones. Because a lot of them, even if they're telling the truth, they'll say something about one side or the other. What Americans need to do as a whole, and these people aren't necessarily bad, you know, especially if they're not in the current and the government that's been there for a million years. But they'll say left side, right side, Democrat, Republican. It's all a thing to distract you. Why do we have sides that we can have checks and balances without having Democrats or Republicans? It's all distraction. They give you one from each party and both are horrible and they both pay each other off when it's convenient, etc. The same prince that Biden said had committed wars against humanity, or crimes against humanity itself. He went and fist bumped the guy, made a deal, and he got the money for the oil. The same guy that Trump met up with, and said, "I don't know how you sleep at night," and then he kept going because then he kept going and saying, "Because you do so many great things." One of my goals in life is that I sleep well. You know why? Because I don't want to ever feel guilty about something, regret anything, or not think I made the right decision when it came to another person's life or health or mindset. And I know I'm doing the right thing. So I do sleep well at night, mostly. I have some issues with it. It's a long story. Visions, etc. So then he goes on TV and praises this guy. Next thing you know, there's all these businesses of his erupting there and all these things that are inherently wrong in the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious as hell. And like I said, you got to watch these movies, you guys. You really do. The Matrix is one of the best ones. But you got to open your mind. If you don't believe in brainwashing, look into it. It's been going on for years. You know, in China, and this is proven, Tiananmen Square was an event that happened, I believe, where innocent people were shot by the government. So there's political violence right there. So when people say they don't believe in political violence, neither do I. But I do believe in protecting innocent people. Like all the people on Epstein's Island, do you believe in protecting them, or do you believe in protecting the children they abused? I believe in the children. I would have gone there and I would have been like frickin' Rambo. Although I heard he went dark side too. All about the money to some people. I used to respect the guy, now I don't. He's just as evil as all the rest of them. But anyway, if I was at the island, all the children would have been saved. All the innocent would have been saved. And all the ones doing the crimes would have been the opposite. How do I have 0? Where'd you guys go? It doesn't matter. It needed to be said, and I'm saying it. There are so many things I can talk about, but it all relates to us all having a happier life, basically, and fun, getting rid of the evil, and rising to the white light. Revelations literally said that the time of most evil, with 3 beings, the most evil you've ever seen, which they totally exist right now. Oh, this is going to talk about China. You could say back in the day, and it's probably true now, you know, you say anything about the Chinese government, they'll shoot you and potentially shoot most in your family, and then they'll make one of the family members pay for the bullets. No joke. Is that how you guys want to live? That any day now you have no right. Someone can come right to your house and take you into custody without you knowing who they are? No, you have the right to know if someone is a police officer or not. Or else you could be murdered in your home by criminals, the same ones they're saying they're protecting us from. See what I mean? Use your brain. If there was really a thing for that, you would have trained people who also must identify themselves. And you're going to tell me, oh, you can, or they'll get away with it, and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not true at all. They've been doing it for years, on and off. You know what I'm saying? You have to identify yourself as a police officer when you try to take someone into custody. Bottom line. Even if you say it over a loudspeaker. And show your badge, too. It's actually a legal thing. You have the right in the great country of America to have a lawyer. And was the Fifth Amendment was part of that too, right? Your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. You have a right, you know what I mean? These people that don't have any rights, and most of them are the ones that are working their butts off that are either legal or good people. They're not really, if you listen to the things they say, and this is real news, most of it's fake, don't get me wrong. Like I said, the comedians and the other ones, and there's some other ones. Michael Cohen used to like Trump and the administration and believe in him and all that, the art of the steal. I mean, he called it the deal and all that until Trump and the administration stabbed him in the back and put him in jail for a year. And now he's gone, he's come to the light. I've been listening to him. He knows what he's talking about. And they'll even say, forget if you're a Democrat or Republican. Think about what is right and what is wrong. I am passionate about this because it depends on our very lives. Here, I've done nothing but help people, and I've spent years starving, not having any food, being harassed by corporations when I did nothing wrong. I know someone right now that runs a business at NYSEG, New York State Electric and Gas, stole $15,000 out of his account, and they won't give it back. I've had my own money stolen from banks, and they wouldn't give it back. No FDIC there, right? It's how they keep getting ahead. But now is the time of the ultimate evil. When everybody starts not having insurance, they won't be able to afford anything. It'll be like the C-word pandemic, which many people seem to have already forgotten already for some reason, when we couldn't even leave our homes. Remember that? It's never happened like that way in the world, especially with all the current strife in a war that their only goal is to show that they're powerful and commit genocide. Because most Russians are actually good people, not the idiot running it. They're just all afraid of him. He killed off all the people that would have unalived all the people that would have stood against him. And if I'd been president, none of this stuff would have even happened, literally, because I would have prevented it, because I do what is right. And you could say all day, we don't want to get involved in other people's stuff, and blah, blah, blah. And look what happened in World War II. We got bombed by the Japanese right after we didn't want to get involved for 4 years, right? And then we were involved. So why wouldn't you stop it to begin with? So innocent babies, pregnant women, elderly wouldn't get abused and murdered and tortured and killed, just like in the N-word Germany in the past. And Germany totally renounces all that now. They know it was wrong. They're sorry for it. And it really had nothing to do with most people that are in Germany right now anyway. There was a guy that got on the Michael Cohen show. He's a great guy now, I'm telling you. You could tell his heart and you can feel his energy. And energy, as I said before, is everything. I send you all energy of the white light for now and forever, that your friends, family, and loved ones may be protected from all evil that may befall you. You are strong, you are blessed, you are anointed, you are powerful, and fully ready to rise into the purpose of your destiny. What is your purpose? Why are we living? So we can be treated like crap, work our lives to the bone, have our retirement stolen from us, have our insurance taken away? We shouldn't even have to worry about insurance. We should all be covered from all our hard work. Smarter, not harder. I could go into many aspects. And if you believe in business and all that, I believe in business too. Honest business. It's not now. It's all corporations and monopolies in every aspect. Don't tell me it's fair. All the little businesses get screwed, and all the big ones dictate everything. All the ones who have never worked an honest day in their life, never had an education, never had any life experience, never taken care of an animal or a person, never sacrificed anything for the greater good. They're not heroes, they're zeros. They shouldn't even deserve to be, they don't even deserve to talk. One word. They deserve to be in jail. So if there's anything I want to leave you guys with, it's always do what is right. You know what is wrong and what is right. And then if we all get together with the white light, I don't care what party, what color, what sexual orientation, what you identify as, you can identify as a freaking kangaroo for all I care. Mostly. Just don't kick me in the, you know what I mean. But I want you to know that that's what's got to happen in order for us all to have better lives. We really should be in a golden age now. We were always the leaders of the world to a point with others. You know what I mean? Now we're the zeros of the world with people saying ignorant, dishonorable, hate speech, while cutting people off the air for saying insensitive, hateful comments that aren't. And then changing the story back and forth. It's called gaslighting, a false narrative. It's how you brainwash somebody. It's how you control somebody. Do you want to be controlled by the government your whole life? Or do you want to do what's right like my grandfathers did? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't feel bad about, in another universe, shooting somebody in the neck with a dart who's doing the Nazi sign. I'm not even going to do it. It's disgusting. You know what Nazis promote? They're against humanity. They're against health. They're against peace. They're against family. They're against all values and morals that are good. And I'm not saying some of them aren't misguided, but I don't got time to teach everybody. If they want to act like an idiot and hurt innocent people, then they got to go, even if it's jail. Depends. It depends if I'm there or not. So everybody left. That's another thing I always hear about. People always tell me, I believe in real relationships with people. I mean, even if you want to have multiple and all that, but also the truth. You know what I mean? Like that term, like player. You're not really, you are playing like a fool. You know what I mean? But it's one thing to be honest about things. You ever see that guy with 7 wives? And I guess that's their religion, and they try to make it sound bad and all that kind of stuff. But they were all faithful, honorable, and loyal to each other. You know what I mean? And he had like 50 kids and all this, and like 7 houses, and they all worked their butts off, and they were all great people and all that. So that's what I'm saying. Think outside the box. You know what I mean? So say you even want to, have different friendships. You be honest with them all still, if it's something that concerns them. What's so hard about it? Why do you got to lie? Why is it a game to hurt somebody's feelings? Why is it a game to cause someone strife, to make them lose everything in their life? I've been listening to these comics, and like I said, comedy is truth. And this one guy goes, he's like, I have a problem with women or whatever, and hear me out. He goes, the problem with women I have is that I don't really mesh with them or whatever. He goes, because every time he's like, 10 years goes by, I got to give away all my stuff. Get it? Divorce? It's just funny. All right, here's another one. He says he goes into a store and he pays the guy or whatever, and he wants turkey, lettuce, rye, and mayo on a sandwich or whatever, right? And the guy goes, all right, turkey, lettuce, rye, or whatever. And he's like, what about the mayo? He goes, it's down there. And the guy is like, what the heck, So basically what he says is like, I paid you 100% of the money. You got to make 100% of the sandwich. Same with self-checkout. He goes, I'm going to do this sometime, but I haven't had the balls to do it kind of thing. He goes, I'm going to go up with a fully loaded cart, and I'm going to count to 5 Mississippi, and if nobody comes to help me, Bill Burry's funny as heck, but truthful. And if nobody comes to help me, I'm just going to wheel out the store. And they're going to come and, potentially try to arrest me and all that, and I'm going to tell them, I wanted to pay you. I intended to pay you, but nobody came, so I figured you didn't want to get paid. It sounds kind of funny in a way, but it's true, Here's another one for you. This was years ago, but it's still ongoing to a point. CNAs made $8 an hour. LPNs, licensed practice nursing, made just little RNs as far as education, blah, blah, blah. Made about 12, so they're nurses, right? And everybody found out at McDonald's you could make $15 an hour. Tell me, in what country do you make more for flipping a fake burger for a corporation than you do for caring for innocent lives? When you get to be old and elderly, do you want to be living like that? The shortage, blah, blah, blah. And all the people taking care of you, for the most part, aren't getting paid nothing. See what I'm saying? How does that make any sense? It doesn't. You go with what you know to be right, or you ask somebody like me. During COVID, we were heroes, then we were zeros. They didn't hire half the people back that were good people, including some of my friends and family. There's many examples. Everybody knows it. Oh, here's a good one. Speaking of African Americans, did you know that in the 50s they did a Tuskegee experiment through the government? If you trust the government, ask a Native American. African Americans, through the government, gave them one of the most horrible diseases ever known to exist, syphilis, to be able to cure it later. But their cure didn't work. All those people died a horrible death of syphilis. And that was in the 50s. That really wasn't that long ago. For you to treat an entire race of people like that. Through the government. So if you think the government has your best interest and you're going to work your job and work your butt off, and they take more taxes out, and that's how you're going to live your whole life, blah, blah, blah. I did all that. Even in medical, I've been treated like total garbage many times. I worked for Arthritis Health Association in DeWitt, New York. I love this story. There's a girl on leflunomide, it's called, for rheumatoid arthritis. And they put her on it. The one-woman doctors, 3 doctors, all from some weird country. And I'm not against immigration, but I'm against ignorance and malpractice and hurting people, okay? Not against immigration at all. especially legal and especially people who are doing the right thing. Obviously, I'm against gangs and murderers and pedophiles, but look at the government. They support pedophiles murdering, poisoning our food for years when there are many, many other options besides them. And I'm sorry, you hurt a baby. Guess what Kevin's going to do about it? Anyway, I asked the girl because the number one rule with leflunomide, I didn't even know much about the medication until I started working there. I could put this on the internet and show them too. I've done stuff like that in the past, but now I'm just letting God spread the word kind of thing. It's complicated. Oh, by the way, I love comments, but I only respond to texts because I have many people calling me and doing DMs. I ain't got time for that because I'm truly busy saving the world, literally. And if I'm a joke to you and you don't believe in me, you're invited to leave because I will do nothing but help you and you help me and all that kind of stuff. I'm not psycho. It doesn't mean I need someone to text me every 5 minutes or whatever, depending on the relationship. I'm not saying that. People get busy. But when you have me start a whole thing with you, it goes on for a year, and then you change your mind suddenly and ghost me, I'm not going to respect you the next time you say, give me a call, man, I want to discuss an idea, but only if you give me a call kind of thing, like it's on me then. No, it's on you to make up for what you did. I have wasted and invested my time and sacrifice. Bottom line. Anyway, so I go up to the one woman doctor. I think it was Syria or Lebanon or something they were all from or something. All three of them see 3, 4, 5 patients a day, and they have all the Americans, even if they're immigrants, seeing 22 people a day in complex rheumatology, okay? I see this girl, and that leflunomide, you're never supposed to give to anybody that could possibly even get pregnant, okay? Not even at all, because you have to stop the medication a year or 2 before you try to conceive. That's how bad it is for a baby, okay? To combat the rheumatoid arthritis. So I tell her about it. And guess what her response was? Why did you tell her, Kevin? Why did you tell her, Kevin? You know, I told her to save her and her baby's life. That's why. And I'm a real American. The kind that believes in saving lives and helping people. And not just making money, lady. Go to hell. Then the one guy thinks he's so competitive and all that. I sued all of them. Of course, I lost, even though I had all the evidence on my side. Evidence doesn't matter and justice doesn't matter in this country anymore. It's a joke. It maybe does with some places, I don't know. But according to what I say and what I've seen from many people, you go to hire a lawyer, the lawyer will call up and get paid off by the other party in the meantime, and then keep the case going, so you're spending all the money. I did over 40 pages of typed write-ups. The lawyer did absolutely nothing and screwed me out of all the money. Then he said if you wanted to go to the next step, that he was going to charge me $15,000 instead of $5,000 from before. No, thank you, asshole. Anyway, this one guy one day, I'm sitting there asking him a question about something, and he goes, what a stupid question, Kevin. You're ignorant like all our American patients. And smiling at me, degrading me. So later on, he asked me a question. I said, well, I don't know what you expect me to know. I'm ignorant like all your American patients. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kevin. I'm so sorry. Please stay all night so I can apologize to you, which I'd already done that before for rude statements he made. And I said, no, I'll be going home. So that didn't last long. But you see what I mean? Even those things that don't seem like that big a deal. Although I think it's a big deal to put a patient on a medication they're contraindicated for, of course. What a joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, they were more mad that I told the girl that she could have, the death of her infant and herself from being on this medication that she shouldn't be on. There's many other medications that don't cause that. You know what I mean? Why did you tell her? Because I'm not in on it with you guys. I'm not in it with the pharmaceutical companies. I'm not in on it with the insurance companies. I'm not in on it just for my own money. And of course I do need money because my great prosperity leads to the abundance and prosperity of others. And that's how you look at it. Can't we all just get along? No, a lot of you guys have been great. I really appreciate all the support, the donations, the likes, follows on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Kevin's Movies and Short Films starring Floyd C. Wall the cat. I've used some other people's stuff like Margaret Wolf. I want to give her credit for singing Viking music. Big Chuck McBride is the real dog whisperer, not that other guy who gets bit by the dogs. Big Chuck McBride, dog whisperer, mainly on YouTube, will teach you about energy. energy rules the world, and it should, and it does. That's why people who are inherently evil are running the world, because they're working with the energy of darkness in an evil way where they don't care about others and they seem to keep going up. But that changes now as per Revelations when God comes through the clouds and stomps on the neck of Satan and all the demons. And there are chosen ones. That's a real thing. Now, I will encourage anybody to debate with me about things. And I'm not saying I'm always right, just most of the time. That this is the most dangerous, evil time in America. Literally, even in the past in America, you had the right to free speech. And once you take away free speech, then they tell you what to believe, and many people believe it through brainwashing and repetition. You repeat a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. And no, I don't adhere to that comment, wisdom, and advice from an evil person, because it's also evil advice. I don't lie. But you have to ask people, because a lot of people you can't sway with real logic, obviously. To Tylenol. You see where I'm going with all this? That's why I say I do every topic. I've never narrowed myself down. And I do funny things, and I do cringe, but it's not really cringe. What else do I do? WTFs. I love the idea of a WTF in a positive way. I say it to my own videos. WTF, but in a funny way, because some of them seem kind of silly, but usually they always have a message behind it too, literally. And it'll be a good message. I would never say a bad message to somebody. And yes, I also took an oath not to do no more harm to somebody as a medical provider. I did. Even if it was with myself. And I believe in that. But I do harm to people who do harm to innocent people. That's different. And they want to use organizations like that where you don't identify yourself as a police officer, you're not following the Constitution or any of the amendments, in order to send people away to another country, and they're going to beat you, take your family away, blah, 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 just for being an immigrant that works hard in America. Probably most of them are legal too, for all we know. Because if you listen to the things they've been saying, they'll literally say, why are you arresting the criminals? You need to arrest the good people. They literally say that. I made a whole thing of things to say. Oh, just quick. According to Sigmund Freud, there's the id ego and the super ego. You are supposed to have an ego, because what that means is that you're proud of yourself. And God and your ancestors and your family, hopefully, and yourself, want you to be proud of yourself. God definitely does, you know what I mean, and your ancestors. For doing good, doing the right thing. Maybe that's what the topic of this should have been, do the right thing. Where the heck did everybody go? I don't care if you watch it later. My teeth might be messed up too, because I drink too much coffee and it stains them and stuff. But sometimes the camera makes you look weird too, and not in a good way. But technically, what people are really referring to is the id. The id is your desire. Like, say you're an infant and you want to eat, so you cry. That's what they mean when they say he has an ego. Because you're supposed to have an ego. An ego deals with what's in your mind versus what is in your reality, which there's different forms of reality too, right? But they'll say he has too much ego, blah, blah, blah. They're not saying the right way. You know what I mean? And I know what they mean. But you're definitely supposed to have an ego. I had someone say to me that they were dating somebody that had an ego he didn't deserve. And I'm like, well, I guess I have an ego I do deserve then. Because I've done nothing but help people. And I can prove it. Not that I need to. You know what I mean? Here's my one diploma. Right here. New York State. My son. Several cats. My grandma and me, that was one of the first edited ones I've done here. I did others in film. I could talk to you guys about film. I could talk to you guys about life, how to be happy, how to be the change you wish to see in the world. Gandhi, maybe? Yeah. And about copyrights and how they're doing things so illegally. You cite something on a video, every video I've ever cited for the most part got an immediate copyright claim. That's what citing's supposed to be for. Still, they do it. Use the song off a platform, they'll mute your video, take it down. Then why was it available to be used? You tell me. My lips go black too from the coffee. I'm so dehydrated right now. But this had to be said. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you've imagined. Make it a good one. You do have past lives and future lives and alternate timelines, but you still should strive to be the best you can. And sometimes you do need to rest. Think of it as being on a team, but the right team. You know what I mean? Because they do think of it as that. They make the government like a football game to distract you. Are you a Democrat or are you a Republican? None of them are upholding their own values anyway, and they're all in on it together. Why do we get these fools to elect? That's what I was going to tell you. So say with me, 20 years of college experience, probably, 7 degrees, 20 years as a nurse, approximately, 8 years as a nurse practitioner, all highest honors, many life experiences, helping people, family, friends. I used to fight all the bullies for people back in high school. Here we bully the bullies because I don't like people who hurt people who are innocent, haters, bullies like that, real hate speech. You know what I mean? They should be made fun of, degraded, and treated like crap. Actually, I don't even care. Just get rid of them. Put them in jail, whatever. And defamation of character is a real thing. When you say lies against somebody's name that has been nothing but a good person, that's defamation of character. So get your lies straight before you insult me, all these people that have done so. Actually, I don't care about them anymore. They can all go to... But you know what I'm talking about, you guys. Boyd, come here and see everybody. Make it a good one. If it's the last time you see me on here, it's the last time. But all of my videos, he's attacking a fly. Good boy. He's been very tired. He's been sick forever. On 7-7, I got an airbag. Hit me in the face. Almost freaking... It broke my nose. It broke my face. But I still look pretty good, I think. It's got a little weird twist in it. But, what are you going to do? Animals have a soul. Oh, don't eat it! There he goes eating it. He ate the fly. Hopefully it was a fly. I've seen him eat a huge, nasty moth before. Oh my gosh, these cats. I love cats. And dogs and animals. Never be afraid to do the right thing. If you ever have a problem with it, you call me and our wolf pack here. And our wolf pack isn't just a wolf pack mentality where we all don't know how to think and we obey and blah, 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 like they try to make it like a cult thing. That's what they're doing in the government right now. And it's all about distracting you, why they do one thing or another that's unconstitutional, against your rights, against your health, against your safety. It's been going on for years. Why do you keep leaving peanut butter and jelly? I know, they try to silence me. They really do. They really do. So don't feel bad. But thank you for coming back. Because like I said, this is the last one, this is the last one. They've been trying to silence me forever for telling the truth. They don't like the truth, these algorithms, because they are liars. They just said Musk, who now owns the algorithm for TikTok. Tell me how that was right. Any of that. So how do you want to live your life? Having the government tell you what to do while they abuse you and your family and others? Or what? Go watch 9/11: A Conspiracy if you can even find it. Not to mention there's been an illegal, obviously illegal, human sex trade and abusing of children and the elderly in nursing homes and otherwise, and allowed to do so for money. All the people that have money, I'm talking all of them, for the most part. There are good people that have money, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like the trillionaires, billionaires. When they get in front of everybody and they're like, oh, that's pocket change, billions of dollars. Meanwhile, people are starving to death that have been in college and worked every day of their life and everything. And these guys haven't worked a day in their life and they got all this money telling you what to do and abusing you and taking away your Constitution and all your rights and civil liberties. Come on, man. They must think everybody's stupid or brainwashed. You know? Because, oh, you know what I hear all the time? What's that one they love to say? I can't believe half of America voted for him. That hasn't been going on for many years. You don't need half of America. You need supposedly 20 or 30% of the votes. And where do the rest of them come from? Probably all false. And either way, you get a bunch of idiots who have all been paid off by a Saudi Arabian evil prince, literally, as your options. How about we get people in there who really want the best for America and for the people and for themselves in the right way? That just seems crazy, doesn't it? People call me crazy all the time. It seems crazy to do the right thing and have everybody be happy and really truly live in a golden age with a renaissance, right? No, it's not crazy at all. It's the way things were supposed to be and meant to be. And right now is the time of all evil. And I don't care who calls me crazy. I don't care what they say about me. Because I know the truth. Jelly, jelly, peanut butter. And my other friend there. Just for saying a word, your video can be sanctioned in an algorithm, or for using the very things they say you're legally able to use, you can have a video muted or taken down. You can be copyright claimed no matter what you do, whether you cite the reference or not, no matter what word you say. We got top people in America dishonoring us every day. They don't believe in honor. That's another problem. Look at Star Trek for that and Star Wars for that. And that's another thing. There's a disturbance in the Force in a good way now, like Star Wars. And that's why they talk about the Force. The Force is with you, my friend, because the Force is energy. It's real. There's art is life, and life is art. That's why Stan Lee saw these heroes, because there's people really like that. And we all get together, throw them all in jail. How we all have happy, productive, wonderful, joyous lives. That's how we were supposed to live. Not working our fingers to the bone till we get our retirement stolen, being abused in the process, both verbally, mentally, physically. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you some stories that are so disgusting about that one Van Doom over there, but I don't even want to bring you down with it. It's so disgusting. You guys probably wouldn't even believe it, about what they do to these people in the name of money. And then everybody covers it up. In Cortland here too. Yeah, I do believe in karma, lady. I am karma. They're the... But it's been a pleasure, you guys. If this is the last time I talk to y'all, it's the last time. But I encourage you to please subscribe, like, comment, share. There's so much more than what we got to go over. There really is. But I believe in truth and justice in the American way. And if you take anything from this video, it's to do the right thing and know when people are doing the wrong thing and say and do something about it. And if we all get together, those that are righteous, we will get rid of all of the evil, and then it's our turn. And I don't mean, even though they call me the Wolf King, it's not in a way like Trump. I would never call him, Biden, anybody a king. I would call them dictators. Okay? There's a big difference. Like in England, I think the king is actually also ruled by the parliament, for example. But anyway, I'm not trying to make a hierarchy, because we're all kings and queens here, okay? Or whatever you may be. So they'd hit me up later. But here we aim to entertain, to help. I do telehealth, where I will help you if you can't get in to get a prescription or things like that. No emergencies, obviously. Call 911. But I also recommend we all get together. Go check out Michael Cohen's thing. He's doing a good thing. Seth Meyers is a good one. And think about that. Taking away both the parties and making it like a real ruling body. Ruling's the wrong word. But that are actually dedicated to the defense of the people, the defense and the betterment of the world, tranquility, peace, and honor. What a concept. Let me get Floyd to show you guys. Floyd! Floyd. Where did I put it now? Hang on. No, I don't have it. What the heck? Where'd everybody go? This is important. No, I lost it. I said it. Oh, I said it now. Floyd, come on. My dried up lips are probably brown too. Here. Floyd and I were just sick since my birthday in June. I think his is in July. He's a baby. Look up, honey. He's got his bow tie on, but you can't see it. Hello, everybody. He's a true warrior. Here, I'll take it off. It's been wonderful, everybody. Let me know if you understand what I'm saying. I know I bounce around to a lot of topics, but it all needed to be said, and I didn't even say half of it. I can go on and on. And it's important that people speak out. The First Amendment leads to other amendments being taken away, and then the government and its whole will all totally control us if everything goes the way it's been going. But that's why I believe in the ultimate energy, and I believe that people will get together, good-minded people like us that want nothing but the best for society, humanity, and the earth. You see what I'm saying? And we will have our renaissance and true golden age, where everybody's productive, peaceful, happy. Imagine that. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen too much of that since the C word, and even long before. My grandma used to take me. Oh, I also have an idea, and if you don't believe in me, then don't worry about it. I have an idea that I've had for many years of opening an assisted living facility that also has a hobby farm or a regular farm, a stage for music, theater, art. Art is supposed to be in this world, and there isn't much art either. I see a lot of AI fakeness. The voices make me sick because I know they're fake. A panda bear, instead of having relationships with people or having your own animal, they have a panda bear that's crawling around on them and saying, it's better than my last therapy session. Oh my God. Oh, and the people doing therapy with their 1 month degree or 6 month or a year degree, saying all these wrongful things to people all the time. Oh my God, the level of ignorance of some of these people. And God bless them if they're at least trying to do the right thing. Then they're charging all this like I don't even know, $200 for classes for a short class, and $75 to answer 3 questions psychically, and all these people are paying it. And like, I'm doing prescription for people for free half the time because of my karma. I will only have good karma. Because why not? Why not live your best life? That's what we're about here. Everybody living their best life. No matter their creed, religion, ethnicity, race, blah, blah, blah. We can all get along and have great lives, even if we don't directly have to interact with each other. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, you guys, it's been a pleasure all these years. It's been 3 years. I started going viral on YouTube when my grandma was dying. I saw her for when she was dying on 9/10 and on 9/20. And I strive every day to honor those before us and after us, God himself, myself, and to literally get rid of evil and live my best life and to be happy every day. And I try to make that evident in my videos, no matter what emotion it may bring to you. And I've done real movies too. Check out my IMDb. They screwed it all up though. I've got all these amazing credits that they take away because they don't want to give me credit for it. Because then they have to pay me or whatever, I guess. So there's been a lot of lies there. Look at the Weinstein thing, right? In the film industry. And you do things, you believe in yourself, and you're proud of yourself if there's a reason to be. So many casting calls. People are highlighting things for me on Facebook. I don't really get on there anymore at all. But I do encourage, of course, comments and all that kind of stuff still on all of my stuff. Please, good comments. I mean, you can disagree with me politely, but those ones who just say rude stuff, you know what I mean? Obviously, you're the loser. It's called projection. When you call somebody and treat somebody like the way you are, it's a horrible thing. It's like, what's I saying? Facebook, I don't know. Oh, believe in yourself. Do you know how many people I've had argue with me about medical who have absolutely nothing to do with medical in any way whatsoever? And it's not about attention or accreditation, but, you know, it's true. What am I going to say? Oh, I didn't become this. I didn't do this. No, I did it all. And I should be proud of myself. And you should be proud of yourself. And everybody should be treated with respect until they give you a reason not to. And then, you know, what happens, happens kind of thing. Well, I'm going to open my own assisted living place to help people, truly care for them, truly pay the staff, have it be safe, whether it's just keeping their quality of life good if they're unaliving or whatever, because that really happens in real life. I've seen many people unalive, some of it in horrible ways, and some of it directly because of medical errors that I didn't do, by the way. I've been accountable for everything I've ever done. And if I've ever wronged anybody, you come to me and you tell me, because I really try to make sure I didn't. And I'm pretty darn sure I didn't hurt anybody. I mean, I'll hurt you if you hurt me, potentially. That's a long story. And it's not revenge, it's called justice. Even if it's just by taking my awesome self out of your life. Because you are all awesome. You never let people degrade you and make fun of you and disrespect you. You take love away from a woman, you take disrespect from a man, you're killing them. Or trying to. I heard a saying about that one time. There's a Native American Cherokee saying that says it is a woman's job in life to show a man his soul, and it is a man's job in life and thereafter to protect the woman. And you could say these are gender stereotypes, blah, 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 but I do believe in there being good feminine and good masculine and the opposite, by the way. Like they'll say women are being strong and masculine to be rude and arrogant and competitive. That's not being masculine, that's being rude and arrogant and competitive. And arrogant is a bad word. That's someone who really truly does have a huge ego and id. Sigmund Freud from the book before. Never argue with a fool. And there's another one. Lao Tzu. For that idiot Russ I worked with, that person who hurts people but thinks he has the right to have trauma while you try to traumatize others, a true narcissist. But anyway, he's like, oh, do you even know who Lao Tzu is? You're going to be pulling your nurse practitioner. I don't agree with you, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Then tried to hurt a patient by insulting me, telling it was this whole thing. Anyway, Lao Tzu says nature takes its time, but everything gets done. And that is totally true, and I totally believe in it. But I also believe there's a time to act, and a time to act now for the betterment of the world itself, your family, your ancestors, and your loved ones, and yourself. And that time is now, people. I don't know about you, but I do know about you. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired because of idiots poisoning my food and telling me what to think and telling me what to do when they have no qualifications to do so. And they are literally with evil, and we are with the white light. So why don't we all get together and make things right, everybody? Woo! Barely talk. I usually have a deep voice. And no, I didn't get kicked in the nut. Nuts? Just kidding. But it's been an absolute pleasure. If this is the last time I talk to everybody, but I actually shouldn't even say that because I know it won't be the last time. I know it won't. Remember the premonitions? And even if I didn't have them, I would just know anyway. When I said goodbye on TikTok and YouTube in my last short video, I meant it. I was sick of my videos getting taken down, muted, etc. for doing a great job. You know what I mean? And everything I say is the truth. Literally, I can guarantee that to you. Prove me wrong. Join up, warriors! Get over here! You guys have a great day. We're put here on this earth to make every second is a blessing. Every breath, every heartbeat. I want to talk about magic. And we should be taking care of the children. We should be protecting the children as true warriors and heroes. We should be protecting ourselves and our families and protecting the things we believe in, like the First Amendment, all the amendments. We should have tranquility and peace. We have the right. That's why these people died and fought in wars for us. And there's more to it than that, but ultimately that says it all. Good versus evil, right? Pick a side. Who am I, you ask? Angel to some, demon to others. Choose your destiny!